Gatekeepers. What is wonderful about the internet is that the gatekeepers are far less powerful, or the gatekeepers. Gatekeepers in general are far less powerful. There are less gatekeepers. Anyone can start a website and anyone can build a following. To a statist, this level of freedom would be terrifying, as individuals would surely flock to the most deranged, feel-good ideologies out there. And yet, that is not what is happening. What is happening is that slowly, and really slowly, freedom is winning out over tyranny. Now, when coming into the internet, people take their pre-internet baggage with them. So we still have things like the alphabet soup news networks, the various Timeses, all the firms that formed cartels from the state delineation of airwaves. These are still the most organized. But arguments against freedom are losing ground. And it may not seem that way at first, because right now, at this point in history, only the most obvious impositions are roundly opposed. Right? And these are drug laws, marriage laws, open wars, prisons, immigration laws. And this causes people to gravitate to the Democrat Party. And the Democrat Party also supports a totalitarian web of taxations and controls, which are usually softened to regulations. And people don't see the totalitarianism of the Democrat Party because it's a little bit more abstract. For example, like when people think about having some sort of government program, they're viewing it like the town coming together, having a town meeting, and deciding whether or not to build a well right outside of the town. Right? They're not recognizing that, like they view any state program like that, like the town's coming together and deciding as a community whether to do something, right? Like a well right outside the town, not realizing that it's actually 300 million strangers who don't know each other. They may take a vote, and the passing of the law may be contingent on the vote, maybe not. And then the law will be passed. And then if you don't pay the taxes that all these people that you don't know, don't want to be involved with, have never met, never will meet, may even hate if you got to know, right? These people are deciding that you have to pay X percentage of the product of your labor to this service, and that if you don't pay, they're going to throw you in a rape room, and if you resist being thrown into the rape room, they're going to put a bullet in your head. Okay? And they don't, and that's a little bit more abstract. Like, for example, drug laws at a local level would be insane. Marriage laws at a local level would be insane. Going to war with another town would be insane, right? Prisons are insane, right? Keeping people out of your town because, they're from some political thing, whatever, is insane, right? That's insane at the local level. But getting together and having a welfare system at the local level, that can make sense, right? But what people don't recognize is that it's not the local level. It's 300 million strangers. And that it's not like, you may be shamed by the community if you don't pay your fair share or not invited to the potluck next week. No, you'll be thrown in prison and shot. Anyway, but I'm digressing here. Without the internet, would you have read this book? Right. The only place where gatekeepers have been able to maintain themselves has been in academia. And academia, that's kind of broad, but you know what I mean, the university systems, the universities. And the result is that academia generally has become a pretty safe target. I can bash academia without much fear. And I think academia not only needs to be bashed, but needs to be eliminated outright, except for the works of scientists and engineers. But the thing is, even with scientists and engineers, those schools, they can form they don't need Berkeley. They can go form their own engineering schools, and they'd probably be better off if they formed their own engineering schools. And the reason being that a hierarchical advancement through classes implies objective knowledge, right? When you learn, you advance through these higher levels of truth, and the people above you they're the professors, they profess the truth to you. And this may be proper in engineering, where, either the rocket flies or it doesn't, the bridge holds up or it doesn't, you're pretty close to something objective. But in anything that has political ramifications, this is a system ripe for abuse. And as a result, there are still Marxist and Keynesians at universities. And academia is just one fountain of information. Print, radio, books at the library, these are all other ways information is conveyed. Academia is not inherently superior, it's just more sheltered from criticism and is more hierarchical. The result of the sheltering is that instead of refining theories in response to a free market of criticism, theories become more elaborate and make more overarching prescriptions. Professors get caught up in their own theories because they aren't being, explicated all the time from this ravage of free market criticism. And the result of the hierarchy in academia is hubris, as professors debate their students, and their students are self-selected to be relevantly ignorant about the topic being discussed. Right? You take a class because you need to learn about something. You need to take a class on Marxism because you need to learn about Marxism. You're not prepared for a debate on Marxism with a professor, and so the professor can pwn you. If you were to learn a politically charged topic like economics, if you were going to go out and do that, would it make sense to have one guy tell you what to believe and then systematically grade you on how well you told him what he told you? Rest assured, he has all the credentials, but these credentials all come from other people like him. Like, how would you like it? If you want to learn from economics, okay, you can learn economics. Come to my room once, 3 times a week for the next month or whatever, and I'll give you homework assignments, and I'll grade you whether or not you get all the problems correct, and I decide what is correct. And I know what is correct because other people just like me have told me what is correct. Would that make sense? Would that make sense in anything else? No, it's retarded.